boys and girls. Welcome to another fun episode here in Isles Talk. My name is Paul Kreischer. I'm co-hosting tonight. As always, with me, Gary Harding. Gary, how are you?
Good evening, Paul, and how are you?
And we didn't get Facebook fixed for him yet, but thank God he's got his phone working. Joe, how you doing, bud? Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'd give him the picture anyway.
yeah,
Here we
yeah. I
go.
would. I not yet, but no. I'll say this right now, boys and girls. I'm tired of old people today. My patience has run out, and if these two start in with me, it's over. They know it. They've been forewarned. Here we go. Speaking of old people here, the Islanders against the Rangers there. Um, you know, the Islanders were looking a little old in that third period. Looked like a complete penalty kill for the entire period. Um, Gary, you were at the game. Um, give me your thoughts on the game. How was the crowd? Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, yes, I am time tested. Thanks, Mike. Um, I think it was about I would say a 55-45 ratio. I do think when the Islanders scored, minus the music, minus it was louder than when the Rangers scored. I think a lot of Ranger fans somehow got tickets down in the dime section. There was a lot of them, but it was a great atmosphere, and it was weird. When we get to a game, usually an hour and a half before game time, and we're walking. You're walking around, you're talking to people. You're getting your stuff, you're getting up to your seats. Especially me, up in the third deck, and I would say with 5 minutes left before puck drop, I would say it was probably 60% full. I'm like sitting there going, "Wow, what happened here?" Is this a sellout or not? We were really, Claire and I were very perplexed by that. But I would say in the first 2 or 3 minutes, right around when Barzy was having his penalty shot, that the crowd started coming in. But an electric atmosphere. I think it was fun. I think I would have said that, negative or positive. Joe, get the camera straight, will you, man?
Oh man,
That's one strike on you, brother.
That's one. Anyway,
Yeah, that's one. That's
that's
one.
what happens when you're a bad boy on
But
Facebook.
I think it was, from what I heard, it was a well-behaved crowd. I mean, you get the typical ding dongs on both sides. But to me, reading a lot of the social media after the game, let's just cut to the chase right now. Anybody thinks that Peter Laviolette's comments were right, needs a serious case of a hammer over their head, because that pellet hit on Sabinajad did his own damage. There was no elbow. There was no other crap. He basically did it himself. Dobson's hit, yes. But are they going to call anything like that with 10 seconds left in the game? Hopefully, most referees did exactly what Kelly Sutherland did and didn't. But I was, obviously, we're very pleased with the outcome. But I really am concerned about Saturday. I'm wondering what it's gonna be like. They're gonna probably, Rempe's gonna play idiotic. I hope not, but we'll see.
so Joe, you and I were talking about this before. Let's start off with the crowd here to begin with. I'm a little more optimistic with the 55-45 Islander fan base there, but let's just have some fun with this. If the Islanders and Rangers do play each other in the playoffs at any time, you don't want to see 55-45. Like, that's almost a home game for Rangers. Like, that for me, that's a warning signal. And it's like, I know some of the older fans who are season ticket holders, they're diehards for years, like Gary and whatnot. Part of me kind of understands why ownership and doesn't have a lot of player interaction season ticket holders sometimes. You know, A, it's in the CBA, but B, one of the most important games of the year, and they've got season ticket holders selling their tickets. I mean, UBS is at 98% capacity almost all year, and you've got sellouts. I mean, that to me, that's almost a sign the Islanders are a corporate. Like, they're moving from that blue collar to white collar. Do you see that as a problem, especially in the playoffs?
Well, as an Islander fan, going to games when they play the Rangers, you always have a large amount of Ranger fans there. So
Granted.
it's listen, it's nothing new to the players. They're there to play a game, and does it make a difference?
It should now.
55-45 or 50-50. No, I don't think it makes a difference to the players. The building's loud. The building's going to be loud anyway. You know what I'm saying? But as far as season ticket holders selling their tickets, look, with the way things are today, if you got a chance to make a buck, people are going to do it. And I'll give you the Yankees as an example. Their tickets went through the roof. I haven't been to a Yankee game since that new stadium opened. I went once.
Right.
I'm not going to pay for the seats where I want to sit. I'm not going to pay that money. You're going for $300 a game, if that's the case with parking and everything. It's crazy. I don't blame the fans for doing it, but if they start giving up their seats, you're going to see. Like we said, you're going to see MSG East. You're going to see that arena become corporate. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But as far as the fans, hey, look, that's what the game is all about. You know what I mean? The fans love it. The teams are there to play a game. It's all about the fans when the fans come into the arena. Who's going to be louder? And it's a good thing. I mean, would I like to see more of a 75-25%?
I'll take that. I'll even take 64. I'll take 65-35.
I'll take that too. But when was the last time when the Islanders played the Rangers that you had that type of difference in the seats? What? Late 90s? Maybe?
Maybe, if that.
Maybe late 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not there. And to the players, it doesn't make a difference. To the player, they're there to play a game.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, give me your thoughts on the overall game, because I'll get into mine a little bit later. But go ahead.
Great first period, stupid second period, and then I'm going to say a try not to lose third period.
Yeah,
that's what they were playing not to lose in that third period. I mean, how many times did they actually get the puck into the Rangers zone in that third period?
I would say probably. I'll tell you total. I think if you go back and look at stats, I'm sure that's only like about a minute and a half of actual offensive time.
Yeah, right. But the one thing that stops the Rangers from swinging the puck around the boards. The Islanders have to, we used to call them when we played hockey, the snowplow. You dump the puck in and you take the boards away and you have the center come straight down the middle of the ice. And one guy chases the puck. That stops that. They didn't start doing that until late in the third period.
Right.
It was definitely a prevent defense situation. But, as Ryan just said, I think they were doing what you said they were doing, but again, the big, as I rewatched the game today, the big stat to me was 35 block shots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody was pouring themselves out.
Right.
They were getting in lanes. They were doing good things, but they were doing it to save themselves, and not allow that goal. But again, as Paul always said, the Rangers are a team that can be beaten. And we saw. I mean, what is the numbers, Paul? You may know. Are they like? What in the low 20s, 5-on-5? The Rangers.
Yeah.
somewhere around that level.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Because you can beat them, you can pound them down. Just, you can't, you've got to play as much mistake-free hockey as possible. In the second
Right.
period, we saw why.
Right.
Yep.
Grind them down.
Yep.
The Rangers will not survive a 7-game series against the Islanders. They will not survive it. I'm sorry. They won't. They won't. They're going to have to beat us in 4 or 5 games. They're not beating us in a 7-game series if we play smart hockey and grind them down. If we face them, we might be facing Carolina again.
Right. Right.
So,
And I wanted to bring this question in. And believe me, guys, I love all the comments and the questions coming in the chat room because it's all part of what we're talking about here. I'd rather play the Rags than the Canes any day of the week. Here's the thing right now, okay? Part of me agrees with that. But I'm sticking, and I'm going to stick with what I said at the beginning of the season. I still feel that this division is the Carolina Hurricanes to lose. I still feel that way. And if the Islanders play the Canes in the first round, the Islanders are in for it. I haven't seen lately the rug get pulled from under Carolina. I haven't seen it yet. And I'm going to combine everything. I'm going to combine the game that we just saw against the Rangers and a possible matchup with Carolina. But it's something that the three of us have been talking in nauseum all season long.
Mm-hmm.
The stupid penalties.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have? 3 penalty kills in a row?
Yep.
You're not going to win any game, boys and girls. It doesn't matter if it's the Phoenix Coyotes. It doesn't matter if it's the Ottawa Senators, the New York Rangers, or the Carolina Hurricanes. You get into penalty trouble, you're not going to win. The other problem that we're seeing right now, the power play is not there. We are literally going back in time almost exactly 1 year where the Islanders took Carolina to 6+ games, plus meaning several overtimes in there, with no power play, strictly 5-on-5, and we were playing not to lose in the third period. We're doing it all over again. If the Islanders stay out of the box, this team could beat anyone 5-on-5. What Carolina and the Rangers have over us is their power play. They have more scoring defensemen than we do, which is why for years I have been going on the Islanders record with our defensemen scoring a point anytime during the game. We dominate them. We dominate that record. It's like a 3-1 margin. The problem is the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes have a ton of those. So what you saw last night was absolutely a playoff game, but it's showing you the problems that the Islanders still have. And for me, gentlemen, the biggest one are those stupid penalties that I'm gonna say the Islanders have to lead the league in. Noah Dobson has just got to be a little more patient with the puck. Look up, take a look around.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that.
He had
Take a
time.
breather.
Yeah.
He had
Take a
time.
breather. Yeah, take a breather, and you're good. That make that outlet pass. Or what? Bring it up. Whatever you got to do. Mike Riley, stupid play. And I agree with this too. Ryan, have to clear the puck, too soft, get it in deep, forecheck. Sure. We didn't see a lot of that in the third period, and I don't know if that's by design. So, yeah, Carolina, they have 2 solid net minders. Right. It is theirs to lose. But again, their net minders right now, again, it's like the Rangers. Their net minders don't scare me, Mike. Carolina's net minders don't scare me. You know who scares me on that team more than anybody? Brent Burns. Brent Burns terrifies me. The guy is 37. Out of all due respect.
37.
37.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I don't know if you've known this, but Brent Burns has not missed a game in his 30s. And he's still tearing it up. Yes, Sebastian Aho is going to be that big winner. Jake Gensel, he's going to score. We know that. But it doesn't start without their defense putting the puck in play. Agreed, Mark. Play the puck along the boards with these teams. Keep the puck away from center ice. Grind it out along the boards. Joe, I'll put this one to you. Can Carolina survive a grinding matchup with the Islanders again this year?
Whew.
Yeah. Gary, I'll let you in on that next. But
Well, listen, I'm a diehard Islander fan.
Yep.
Carolina scares me. Carolina scares me because they have that 1-2 punch. Their first two lines that are better than ours. Horvat and Barzell, yeah, they're hot, but they could be shut down. You
Right.
shut down that top line. If the second line's not going, we're done. It's simple. I mean, but
Right.
look at Gensel's line. Look
Yeah.
at the numbers they're putting up. It's ridiculous. They could put 2 goals on the board and just sit on the lead if they want.
Gary,
And
give me your thoughts.
we have to stay out of the box. We have to play smart hockey against
That's
them.
it.
But
That's it.
7-game series. I got to give Carolina the edge.
Right. Gary,
The
give me
thing
your
about
thoughts.
the thing about Carolina that is different than most of the other teams is they're the type of team regardless of what line it is, 1 through 4, they're always throwing pucks to the net, constantly throwing pucks to the net.
Bingo.
You'll see they'll get 100 shot attempts in a game, easy. If you look at, I think it was the first 2 games of the series against us in Carolina, they were doing that.
Right.
And then you add a Jake Gensel into that lineup,
Right.
and that's all they do. I think one of the other games I saw like a week or 2 ago, they had like something like 78 shot attempts in the first 2 periods. So you've got to drill, them, and don't let them cross that blue line. You've got to play tight with them because they're going to find a way to shoot from anywhere.
Oh yeah.
And that's something an Islander team doesn't do that well.
No.
As we've noticed.
Well, we were doing it last night. In all fairness, we were shooting from everywhere last night.
Yes. First
In all
period,
fairness,
absolutely. Totally.
And look at the elimination goal when Carolina eliminated us. Look where it came from.
Yep.
Came from the goal line.
Yep.
Basically. They just throw the puck on net.
And that's all you got to do. See, I agree with what Ryan just said. Nobody wants to play us because we don't make it easy on anyone. Listen, Islanders have been around for 50 years, 50 plus years. Montreal, Edmonton, Tampa Bay. The Rangers don't count because they had half that Edmonton team on that team either, as well.
Right.
I'll give Brian Leach and Mike Richter a little more credit, especially Mike Richter. I'll give him the credit there, but give me another team that has gone through the Islanders and actually won a Stanley Cup. I think I nailed them all. Montreal, Edmonton, Tampa Bay, and the Rangers. That's it. 4 out of the 32. Very difficult. Teams do not want to play the Islanders anywhere in the first 2 rounds because you're going to go to war. That's the bottom line. Granted, we're all Islander fans here. Yes, we all, I think, can agree. I think we all have Carolina winning that series. But in all honesty, this team is crazy enough to drive us all nuts for like the last 6 or 7 months. As far as I'm concerned, anything is possible. Honestly, it's mind-boggling what they've been doing to us this season. I mean, if they finally hit on all cylinders, we won't even know what the hell it looks like. But it's going to work anyway. It could be some of the sloppiest games we've seen, but the Islanders probably win it anyway. So am I completely canceling out the Islanders against Carolina? No. Do we know what kind of team is going to show up against Carolina yet? No. Is it going to be that much more fun? Absolutely. It's just, yeah.
I can tell you one thing. If
Go ahead.
if Volley keeps playing the way he's playing, he can make the
Bingo.
difference. He can make the difference in that series.
Yeah.
He can make the difference. As much as I'd rather see us play the Rangers because it's an emotional series and anything can happen in that type of series against your arch rival, I think Volley could be the difference in that Carolina series.
Yeah.
You got to go.
He,
You got to go with him. He's the hot hand.
yeah. No. I agree. In going with this whole craziness theory here, Varlamov would be the only calming moment here for the Islanders during these playoff series.
Mhm.
He would be like that calming effect. And granted, I know some of you brought this up in the chat before with Clutter doing a players only meeting during that right before the third period. I think you're going to need that as well. Excuse me. But yeah, you're going to need more of that. And again, we've discussed this before. A C is just a letter on the sweater. It doesn't mean it's on one person. There's just too many guys in there who all deserve some kind of letter that can get this team up and going. It just Clutterbuck was there to hit that right nerve, and that's what we got. Now, before we get into this real quick, gentlemen, let me ask you. They are doing that playing not to lose. And to me, it felt like a penalty kill for the third period. That seemed to work. They seem to be getting better at it. And I hate saying that. You don't want to see it. But they seem to be getting better. Go ahead, Gary.
I wasn't as, again, being there and watching, and again, anybody knows how especially when the Islanders are up in the third period, how I watch the third period is I say there's 21-minute periods.
Right.
And I look at the clock and I say, okay, if they get to 19 minutes, they didn't give up a goal or they score one. I want to be a 1 or a 0. So I wasn't, right. I kind of focus on that a little bit more. And I wasn't really watching a lot of what's going on. Well, they knew the Rangers were getting a lot of shots on net and we were playing back and we were kind of defending ourselves. But and then games in the past, I didn't feel as concerned about it because I think in a lot of cases in that third period, although we were playing not to lose, we were playing a lot smarter than we have in prior third periods.
Okay.
So I didn't feel as uncomfortable about it as I normally would. And I'm one that's going to raise my hand and complain about that. But now I really thought they were a little more disciplined. Again, the type of team they're playing, what's at stake. I think Patrick and the coaching staff is putting that onto them. You know, they got to realize the importance. If they're going to do something like that, try to be smart. There were no penalties, no stupid penalties in the third period. They got smart. I don't know whether it was a combination of that and Clutter talking and getting the guys clear heads, a little smack in the face, do something about it, but I really felt that their third period was not as bad as it looked despite the shot numbers, but they did what they had to do. And of course the ending was positive and it was
right.
It was absolutely, it was bedlam after Anders tapped that empty net in. Oh, it was just great.
All right, so let's talk about that first period then. Listen, if the Islanders could play that first period all the time, second place, solid, maybe even first. Like that's what you want to see every period. But unfortunately, Ryan, we have seen this song and dance before. Once they get that early lead in the first or even in the second, they go back to that play not to lose in the second and third. And I guess that's what's driving us nuts. But let's stick with that first period. Gentlemen, a lot of deflections. A lot of deflections getting into the net. It would almost make Mark Parrish and Matt Molson tears of joy coming down their faces. Honestly, it's right out of their playbook. Anders Lee's been doing it as well. Joe, give me your Gary, give me your thoughts on that. How more do you want to see of that?
We're always complaining. We're always wanting that. We're
Yeah,
always talking about the Mark Parrish off the butt goal. We're always looking for that crazy play. I mean, let me ask you guys, because I mean, I did see it on TV this morning, but do you think that actually Bo got that goal? I thought it was Casey.
it looked
We
like
thought it was Casey because it was right under, we were right above where the goal was scored. I thought it was
right.
Casey that got it in too, and it looked like that on TV. What do you think?
I saw the replay on that because I just watched the game, believe it or not, again before we started on the show. It looked like it went off the top of Shesterkin's stick.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Casey's stick and Shesterkin's stick were right around that same side and they went up. So yeah, it could
Okay,
have
fair
gone
enough.
either way. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, you've got such huge bodies on this team, or if they're not huge, they're not afraid to play in front of the net
Right.
and do those things. We got to get back to that.
Right.
To me, this team is at its best when they're being physical in front of their net. And it showed last night in that first period. Palmieri got the goal by being in that dirty area and finding that empty shot.
Right.
We do well there. And it's like I don't want to say they forget, but somebody just mentioned, this team must be struggling so bad with this long change. I don't know why it affects them more than others, but that to me is the reason. But again, the first period was great. They were physical. They were winning corner battles. They were doing everything they needed to do against this team and put that message out there, that we're not gonna be pushed around. And they weren't. It was great, and the atmosphere in the stands was fabulous.
Yeah.
Well,
Joe,
if you
give me
look
your
at
thoughts.
any
Yeah.
okay, any NHL goalie, okay, if you don't get bodies in front of them, you're not going to score. They'll stop 99 out of 100 shots one on one. You got to get bodies, especially in the playoffs. You got to get bodies in front of the net, and it proved it last night with I call them Shitskirkins, but Shesterkin. It proved it with him. You got to get the deflections. He's a fantastic goaltender if he could see the puck. You can't stop what you can't see. You can't stop. You can't stop a 95-mile-an-hour shot when it's deflected a foot and a half in front of you.
Yep.
So I mean, look what they're doing with Fox. He's taking wrist shots from the point, and Kreider's deflecting them. They're like powder puff goals, but you know what? It works. It's working for them. So keep doing it until someone's able to figure it out.
Yep.
That's what we got to do. Get people in front of the net.
And I'm going to say this with the only goal I actually had a problem with was Chris Kreider's deflection. For me, and I used to play goalie, Joe, I don't know if you would agree with me or not, because I know you played goalie as well. When you know someone like Chris Kreider is right in front of you, I probably would not be as far back as Varlamov. Kreider was on the edge of the crease. My glove is probably right where Kreider's stick is. I would even be bumping him a little bit because that's allowed. If he comes closer to the crease, I would do something a little bit more to disrupt him. Am I wrong? Would you do the same thing? What would you do?
I would do what Varley did. He whacked him in the back of the legs, right behind the knees.
Oh, that was Vesey. That was Vesey. Kreider was literally just standing there like a pylon.
Yes. You're right, but that's what you do. You give them whack on the back of the legs just to make them know you're there.
Okay.
But who scored the goal where Battuso was in front of the defenseman and he didn't block the shot? Who scored that goal? Fox?
Yes.
Yeah, Fox.
All right, that's another thing. If you're gonna play that type of game, you gotta block that shot. If you're in front of the player, if you're behind of the player, you gotta knock him on his ass and clear him out of the crease.
Bingo.
That's it.
Mhm.
Easier said than done when when the team's on a power play, but still, you got to send a message sooner or later.
Right.
That way.
Yeah, wax the laces when screened just hard enough to get them to move. Yeah. We used to do a little bit more than the laces, but yeah, we that it's the same philosophy, the same motive there. So
All right, guys,
go ahead, Gary.
I just have to say something here.
Go for it.
Anybody that's listening in the chat room, anybody here, now you know why I have to deal with two goaltenders and why sometimes I get loopy. It's these knuckleheads over here.
Where's that mute button?
Too many
no,
pucks to the head.
There he is. Now, see? That's what you get for messing with two goaltenders. You open up your mouth. Uh-huh. Ah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank God. I need someone younger to save me from this damn chat because
You know
You
what?
sent me through the wrong. I said
you the
send it
what?
on Twitter, and you texted me.
Well, no, that's
said-
his fault.
I said
That's
he was
his
going to
fault.
text you.
I was like waiting for like 15 minutes listening to you guys. I'm like, when is he gonna send it?
Gary's fault.
Bite
Gary's
me.
fault.
Bite me.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, even balancing everything out here because I'm getting tired of old people already. Longtime friend of ours, family member, National Sibling Day, as far as I'm concerned. From Kim In The Crease, Kimberly Moisa. Kim, how are you? Save me, please.
Hi guys.
How
Hi
you
Gary.
doing?
What's up, Joe?
How are
Kimmy.
you?
So, all right, Kim, real quick. We were talking Rangers real quick. It was basically a playoff game. Give us your thoughts real quick. What do you want to see out of the Islanders moving forward?
Oh God, stop sitting on freaking leads.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just this randomness to their game. They will become hot that first period. They will just find the goals. They will just 1, 2, 3 them. I was honestly shocked by their first period. It's just Sturkin kind of helped us a bit out of positioning, especially with that Palmieri goal. I don't know what he was doing so far out of his crease, but you know what? I'll take it anywhere. So absolutely, I was very happy. Towards the end of the first, I was kind of getting a little nervous, and this is where I see, at the end of this period, I said we got to stay diligent. We have to make sure we're disciplined. The first call to me was a phantom call. That was mega BS in my opinion. Second one on Bortuzzo was definitely a call, and the third one on Dobson you can't dispute. That's those two right there were just you can't take those, and that's the only reason they came back in the game. They got the momentum off of that, and we had to play. The second period to me was a full PK period. It was the 20-minute PK. Third period though didn't have to be like that. There was I felt like we could have come back, but I was listening to Stefan Rosner's analysis, and I kind of agree. Where it's just like every time the Islanders tried to get to their game, tried to make something happen, we did a bad pass, we gave a turnover, we just couldn't get it together. And that's where I heard you guys talking about the Clutterbuck player meeting, because they just couldn't get their shit together in the third. Sorry, they couldn't get their stuff together in the third period, and it was very noticeable. I can understand the second period, where we have PK after PK after PK. You have 6 minutes of straight just penalty killing, and then you had lost the momentum. But that third period, there was no reason for it. That third period, we absolutely could have come back. It could have been just like the first, where we were, we had no ozone time, and I find that unacceptable. So for me, that third period was the biggest disappointment. And when we lose our game, it just seems like we lose it. We can't get it back. And honestly, I don't know personally like what we can do to fix that, if the Islanders, if that's just a serious problem for us. If anything that it showed on the Ranger side is how they cannot play 5-on-5. The Rangers have no 5-on-5 game. They rely on referees giving them power plays to get in games and score.
Academy
And
Awards.
that was the biggest thing going into this game. And I talked about that. Stefan Rosner talked about, every single analyst talked about that. Don't take penalties, which is a big reason why I get having Bortuzzo in. He's muscle, he plays an old school game, but he takes penalties. And so I wasn't excited about that. Nonetheless, he took a penalty. I would have rather Sebastian Aho, honestly, but I understand why they had him in. So that I mean, that was my analysis of the game. I think, in the third, I think we got, I think we had a little luck on our side, but as you guys have already stated, I'm kind of reiterating you guys to a point here. Varlamov's performance cannot be underrated here. Varlamov has looking like 2021 bubble Varlamov, and I'm loving. The fans are loving it. We're all loving it, and he's loving it. If you are watching him on the ice, I don't know at home, but he is hands in the air, stick waving, like giving it to the fans too. He is loving it. And even in his interviews, this is a man who shows little passion, little emotion, unless he is truly feeling it, like 2021 bubble, the Varley slide. When he's feeling it, he is feeling it. And right now, I can tell he's feeling it. And he's loving that he's on his game. And you know what? We're not giving him too much help in the back there. But he has just been so sturdy on his positioning, and especially where Sorokin failed, and especially on his corners. Sorokin had that back of the head goal. Varlamov had, I think, 3 shots just like that, and they either hit the post or Varley's head was right there to knock it away. His positioning has been solid. It's been tight. And I'm just very, very happy with his performance. And, people gave a lot of bad stuff about his contract when he first signed again. And you know what? I'm having fun going, I told you.
All right. Well, question then, gentlemen. She's right. We all want to see a different third period. We don't want to see it 20 minutes full of penalty killing. How do you get that momentum back? Is it a hit? Is it bringing back is it bringing back the identity line for 2 shifts? Telling them go out there, bang the bodies, try to get that momentum back. What do you want to see out of the Islanders instead of a 20-minute penalty kill?
I'll tell you, with every single game, I am so impressed with Kyle McLean.
Yes.
Go
I
ahead.
don't think you have to make that switch. There were a couple of moments in this game I'm like, who the hell is he and where has he been all our lives?
College.
Didn't I tell you about him 2 years ago?
Smart on the puck.
Mhm.
Oh, here comes Captain
were right.
Bridgeport here on the lower left side of the screen.
I was like, didn't I tell you about him 2 years ago when I went down
You
to
did.
Bridgeport? I was
You
like,
did.
there's one guy down there. Because
And you're not done yet tonight either.
See, as I said, I've created this monster over here. I take full responsibility. But no, I mean, yes, you can set the tone. I think Waz put them in the right amount of minutes. I think sometimes Lane was playing them a little too much, but you get them in the right spots. As Barry did, he always put them out at the opening shift of a period, set the tone, especially in games like this in the first 5 minutes of a period. Especially I would say even more important in the second period when you've got that long change, get those guys out there and create the tone.
Yeah,
because I think that's where they lose it a little bit. But there's no problem with the line assignments and the time that they're doing. But it's just when you do it and when you can get the guys to be, in the right place at the right time.
Joe, go ahead. What do you want to see?
What I want to see is more play down low, controlling the puck in the O-zone, setting up the D-men at the points, letting them contribute. That's when we play winning hockey. And we definitely have to slow teams down in the neutral zone. They pick up too much speed, and our defense backs up too deep into the zone. We got to stop that. We have to control the neutral zone. You control the neutral zone, you control the game.
Haven't we talked gap control so many times?
I was just going to say, I'm defending Joe here. Yeah, Joe and I have had hours of conversations this season about the neutral zone and the lack
Joe, I
thereof.
feel sorry for you, mate.
Oh, no. Those are great conversations. Those are great. You'd lose it by like 15 or 20 minutes in. You'd be Claire would be calling you by then, so don't even worry about it. Anyway, no, but I agree with what everyone said, and I'm going to add a little bit to what Kimmy said, and I'm going to use a line from Showing My Age here, the movie Gladiator. Win the crowd. And that's what I was using the identity line, even for 2 shifts. You start throwing the bodies around. You get the crowd energized again, and then we go right into that neutral zone trap. Or not a trap, but you put Kyle McLean, you put everybody else back to where they were. You have them working the neutral zone, and you're playing the puck deeper into that third period. That's going to energize the fans. And look, even if the Islanders are playing one hell of a defensive game, and you're seeing, like Gary said before, 35 block shots, you're still going to get that crowd motivated. They see what's going on here. That's going to keep the crowd in. And when you keep the crowd in, that's going to keep the players going.
Kimmy, you can probably vouch on this. When Barzy blocked that shot, how the crowd noise was going up like crazy. I mean,
but he shouldn't have to.
The maturity level.
But he shouldn't have to be in that position. Barzell, especially, they don't want him blocking shots. He shouldn't have to be in that damn position in the first place, which actually kind of makes me angry that he had to be in that position to block shots. He's not supposed to be blocking shots. He's supposed to be in that O-zone putting shots.
Right, exactly. But Wild loves that fact.
But I'm actually going to disagree with Paul. I'm going to actually disagree with him here.
Go for it.
Throwing bodies, I thought I kind of had that mentality too, but a big problem, we're getting hemmed in the zone. We will lay bodies. We got Alexander Romanov doing that. The problem is picking up the puck. We can't retrieve the puck. Yeah, we'll throw the body, yay, and then they get it right back and they set up and we're hemmed again. We throw bodies left and right, yay, but we lose possession. The name of the game is possession, and like Joe was saying, through the neutral zone, controlling the neutral zone and getting it both ways. How many times it was a dump, change, oh, let's let them in, dump, change, oh, let's let them in, and it was like the same old song and dance again and again and again. And that's where I was saying, where we just couldn't get anything together, any pass, anything was just going right back to a Ranger stick. And yeah, you can lay a big hit, but when, Matt Martin lays a hit against the boards and it goes right back to Adam Fox and he lays a slapper on the net, who gives a shit about the hit? Sorry.
Go for it. Venting session, folks.
But that's just the end of the story. Yeah, you can get excited about hits, but that's what it's going to get me pissed off when I went, Martin should have gone for the puck. You know what I mean? The identity line, no. We got to break off from this identity line. And Kyle McLean is that perfect placeholder right now to be that Casey Cizikas role. Because Casey, I'm sorry, was the shining star of this fourth line. And now Kyle is. And he's that supporter of this fourth line. Because I'm sorry, but Clutter and Martin are slowing down in their days. And they can't do much in their
See, I don't. Yeah, maybe I'm not making myself clear. I don't want to see the identity line for a full game.
I know you want it here and there, but even then,
I literally want it for like the first 2 minutes of the third. Yeah, I literally want it for like the first 2 minutes of the third and get everybody back, because what we've seen so far, there's no momentum in that third. Like, I just got to see. I don't want to see the Islanders sleeping in an entire third period. I got to see some kind of momentum from these guys, because the Rangers did exactly that. And I'm going to agree with Kimmy. Towards the end of the night, I don't want to see a lot of hitting going on in the third, because they're going to be tired to begin with. Joe, go ahead.
Forget about the third period. They got to wake up in the second period.
Yep.
We keep falling asleep in the second period in the play. If that happens in the playoffs, you could lose a whole series in the second period of each game.
That's it.
Can't do that.
That's what I was saying.
We can't do that. We got to play a 60-minute team. We're not built like these other teams. We're built to grind and score 2 goals and shut the other team down. We're not going to get into shootouts with these teams in the playoffs. We just
and you're not.
Yeah.
Despite the fact you have a couple of good skaters, you have a couple of fast skaters, but if we're looking league-wise in comparison, we're a slow team. You got a slow team on the long change, and that's caused a lot of problems. That's why I say you've got to set the tone right away.
Right.
And that fourth line in the beginning of a period, and Barry did it all the time.
Yeah.
I saw that. Martin would lay a hit. Casey would lay a hit. Clutter would lay 2 out. Everybody's going crazy, and the crowd gets into it. The momentum goes, everything goes.
Well, Jacques
And that's
Jacques Lemaire used to do that with the Devils with the crash line.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You put them out at the start of the period, set the tone. That's it. So,
But I still agree with what Kimmy said. I think as the game wears on, you got to have possession now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
still
what
got to
win
have
games.
possession because that's
That's how
another
you
way
win
to get into
games.
those other teams' heads. Yeah. You get into the other team's heads. Now you're really frustrating. You beat them up for just a few minutes. That gets into their heads. Now they can't control the puck. Now they don't know what to do.
Like until we had that power play in the third period, we were being outshot 12-0.
Yep.
Yes.
12
That was
to
the
0.
first shot.
That's
the Islanders'
ridiculous.
first shot was in the last 6 minutes of the game.
yes.
Yep.
And that's just not okay.
No, that's not good.
No. No.
And
but
I don't know. I posted a video where I was like taking a drink every time we turned over the puck. I was taking a drink, and I had a nice buzz going.
She was doing a good. By the way, she was doing a real good job in the game last night.
It was bad, but so yes, we held on to the lead. I just feel in ways we were lucky to pull out that win. Just putting it there, we were lucky to pull out that win. We got an empty netter. I don't know where that's been all season, but we finally have been getting empty netters, which has been crucial.
Get her done. That's what it is. Just get her done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy just said, our forecheck disappears. We have to sustain it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it absolutely goes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then it's
Breathe.
just like
Breathe,
2
people.
points.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Yes. What team do you think we pull wins, losses
we
down the
needed those
stretch
points
on
like
here?
air because the Capitals won, thank God, in regulation over the I can't think right now, but the team was that they won.
But now let's look at but Paul, let's look at tomorrow now. You're dealing with a Montreal team that put a big, huge smackdown on the Flyers. Basically, just threw them into the dust.
It's the Flyers.
Okay, that to me, that game scares me more than the Ranger game scared me.
On Saturday.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, tomorrow, Montreal, a team that's got nothing they're playing for, and they smacked Philadelphia one end of the ice to the other, winning 9-3. That's the team that scares me.
See, this is something where I'm interested. You were talking about setting the tone of a game. Right. Let us not forget what happened to Adam Pelech last time he
I was going to bring that up, Kim. Go for it. Yep.
So, do the Islanders answer to this bell? This is something, does Matty Gallagher come after Gallagher? Do we see a fight in this game that just, does he start the fourth line and Matty Martz, he finds that Gallagher line and Rod goes, oh, who knows? Maybe Wass says go for it. I don't know if Matty Martin just does it himself, but is this, will this be an answer? I know it's been a while, honestly, but I think it would make a statement, especially now that the Ranger fans are all wanting Rempe for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Joe?
Yeah,
I think the Islanders have to play it smart. You don't need an injury. You don't need a player breaking a hand in a fight or something like that. Let Matty set the tone. Let him talk. Whatever he's got to do. If the player wants to drop the gloves, fine. Just don't go out and look for vengeance.
It's more right. It's more important. It was more important if it was game 30 to set a statement than in this game 79 when you're playing for your life.
Right. Montreal has
do something, but not to that level. Just maybe give him a little reminder of what it is, but don't go over the top.
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure he's going to get a few whacks with the stick and whatever, a couple of elbows thrown at him. That's fine. But let me tell you something about the Flyers. Where I live down here in Jersey, I get a lot of the Flyer sports talk. Okay, so I listen to it. I think the Flyers are done. Okay, so that game against Montreal, the Flyers mailed it in. I think Tortorella lost the locker room again, which is becoming a habit with him. The players get tired of his antics, and they're done. So I wouldn't put too much into what happened to them last night, but it's more of the Flyers not coming to play than Montreal blowing them out.
They also got winning issues.
Yeah,
also
I
got
agree.
major
I,
goaltending
no, I
issues.
understand that totally, Joe. But I'm not talking about it from that instance, but just
Right.
the team itself. I'm talking
Oh,
from
yeah.
Montreal's side of the game. You know, they're a team
Yeah.
that's playing for nothing. You know,
Oh,
their number one draft pick got his first hat trick last night. You know,
Yeah.
there's guys like Caulfield and Suzuki that want to put up big numbers. So
Right.
they're playing for themselves, and those are the games that scare me more against your rivals or the number one teams. It's those teams,
Right.
and as 30, 40 year or from the Islander fan from the womb like Kimmy is, we all know the what's happened, and we were in that situation many times. So we know what it can be and how we felt after we've knocked out a big team. So that's why I
Right.
say, and I'm sure it's not going to be that way, that they're not going to forget who they are and who they're playing. But it's those games that scare me more than the others. And
A
they're
huge help is
definitely.
that it's a home game for us. Like
exactly.
when you take them out of the Bell Center, I think this can we put them in our house. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens play as well. I don't know their home away record, honestly, but I think that could be a huge help. But no, I understand and I agree with you, Gary. When I saw the score against the Flyers, I was like, damn, they can tear us up. I was like,
Yeah.
we got to be on our like every damn game. We're saying the same dang thing. Got to be on our toes. We got to win. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it's just it sucks repeating myself every single game. Just win.
Yeah. That's what it comes down
Yep.
to.
Just win, baby.
Yeah, if
Gary.
the Islanders play to their system, they should lock that up. But I agree with everyone. It is a trap game. They cannot get off their game. Stop with the stupid penalties. They should win. And yes, Kimmy's right. Bortuzzo, Martin should at least keep an eye on Brendan Gallagher. No doubt. If something else happens, okay, that's a different story.
Mhm.
But again, like we all just said, we're not in Montreal anymore. And no, we should not go ahead and look towards the Rangers just yet. This is still a crucial 2 points. The Capitals can still take over third at some point if they continue to miraculously win.
Riding the coattails
But
of Ovechkin.
welcome to the playoffs in Game 78 here. So play the system. The Islanders should grab at least a point. Going with that. Listen, yes, Cole Caulfield has also been a problem. So, listen, boys and girls. Well, real quick, Kimmy, um, your thoughts, real quick, on the possibility of playing Carolina.
Be fun for a rematch. See where
Yep.
we can go with that.
Good.
I mean, Carolina and both the Rangers both scare me going into playoff time. They both do. I won't even lie about it. I think it would be a fun. I heard you guys saying before. I think Varlamov starting against them would be an interesting start.
Right.
I mean, and you know what? Like we've gotten better. I feel like at playing against Carolina. Carolina was a team that was usually our kryptonite. Would just was one of those teams that we just couldn't beat, just like Nashville 2017. But it was like I would say Islanders had kryptonite teams. One was Carolina, one was Boston, Nashville, and the Caps. Those are like 4 teams I would say Islanders always have struggled against for some reason or another. It's a team that definitely worries me. They have a great forecheck, and I think would I want the Rangers? Would I want Carolina? Is the question. I would choose Carolina.
Okay.
And you know
Works
what?
for us.
And what bothers me too with and I feel this for I'll understand them. If we face the Rangers, I've heard it talked about a lot via the season ticket members. They would be like, "We'll just sell our playoff tickets because we'll get our money back. We'll just get our money back and sell them off." And then like, how much fun of a playoff series is that when it's like 90% Ranger fans because they would buy out the butt for those tickets because MSG is probably 3 times as more. So it's like that doesn't look fun either. So I don't
Right.
know. I would just personally would like to play Carolina.
Fair enough. So, all right, boys and girls, moving on just a little bit here. For those of you who know this, I have been covering the draft at nauseum since 2008. Gary and I have these lovely conversations every time. I got to tell you right now, this 2024 draft, it's right up Lou's alley, whether he's here or not. There are a lot of 17-year-olds in this first round. There's a lot of young 18-year-olds in my when I mean young 18, like they just turned 18 in late February, early March. So a good chunk of these kids were 17 throughout this entire season. That's almost unheard of. I've been asking other people around, is this one of the youngest drafts in a while? Yeah. There's a couple of good ones. And again, it's not a bad draft. These kids are probably going to take 4 years solid to make an impact. Obviously, your top 3, 4, 5, they probably get into the NHL a little sooner because of the teams that they're getting drafted with. But also what I do is that I take a look at the Worcester Railers. I look at the Bridgeport Islanders. I look at the junior teams. It's like, what do the Islanders have moving forward? And that kind of helps me guide my way through the NHL draft and what I feel the Islanders may or may not do. And it has helped me along the way. Kimmy has been to a couple of Bridgeport games. And yes, to her credit, she has liked Kyle McLean almost as much as I have when she was down in Bridgeport. So, Kimmy, first guy. Well, wait, before we do that, quick embarrassing moment because I have to. Ta-da!
Yeah.
That's a Shakov on the right and Maggio on the left.
It's Hakov.
A Shakov, yes.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's
It's
Shakov.
it's Rusty. For those of you who don't
It's
know, his
Rusty.
nickname is Rusty.
It is Rusty, yes. So, give me your thoughts first on Rusty. For me, I've always felt he is the Matt Barzell of the American Hockey League.
He has the hands of Matt Barzell, that is for damn
Go for
sure.
it.
My God. Watching him play and the way he thinks, like we talk about hockey IQ, it is right up there. His hands are phenomenal. This last game I went to, he totally just hands destroyed the defenseman. The only reason he didn't score there is because he got tripped in OT. And that was the only way the defenseman could stop him, was to purposely cause a penalty against him. He destroyed him. I have it on tape. I posted it to my Twitter. He's got insane hands. This kid, I mean, he looks up. He can find players like nobody's business. He caused an OT winner. He causes goals left and right because he can just find players and just his control of the puck. And what do we know Barzy for? His puck possession, his control, finding other players. That is Rusty. That is Hakov, and he is the master of it. And again, I would say like my negatives obviously are just physicality wise. He can easily get pushed off. That's the thing with him. I feel like Barzy can a little bit too, but yeah, he's on the smaller side. I have seen him just literally just get whoosh off the puck on the sideboards. But when he's in the middle of the ice, no one's stopping him. He's coming up on a 2-on-1. This kid's got it, and I have full confidence in him. I'm excited to see what he could do.
Good. And for those of you worried about Rusty going to the KHL,
I have a funny story.
go ahead, go for it. Is that part of it? Go ahead.
Yeah. So there was a signing after this last Bridgeport game. They had the odd number players do signings. Rusty is number 17. Next to him was Cole Bardreau, number 21. If you guys remember, Cole Bardreau, 2019, came up to the New York Islanders, scored his first ever NHL goal on a penalty shot in Barclays Center. So that's a nice little throwback for you guys. But Cole Bardreau, oh my God, he is hilarious. So as you've been saying, there's been rumors of him possibly this summer looking towards a KHL, going back to Russia. He would have to play with Moscow, because they have his rights, so he'd have to play with them. I've been looking into this personally. I didn't ask Rusty personally, but I heard online this kid was like, Ruslan, we love you here, you're the best, can't wait to see you in the NHL, blah blah blah. And Cole Bardreau turns and goes, don't get too attached, he's gonna go back to Russia. And Rusty goes, no. But it's rumors. But Rusty like got panicked. He was like, no, 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 no.
Right.
Bardro's
Right.
laughing his ass off. I mean, Bardro's. Oh, Mike,
No,
Mike.
that's fine.
By the way, this guy
Go ahead.
Mike in the chat, he
Yeah.
is a Bridgeport season ticket holder. He knows these guys inside and out. He's helped me immensely, knowing these guys and
Beautiful.
knowing Bridgeport. So he's the guy for Bridgeport too.
Well, let me put the question to you, Kimmy, on this. Continuing on the Bridgeport side, Paul talked a lot last year about Maggio, and about his development in the OHL, and then coming up here, getting that. Oh God, getting that.
Oh,
You
no.
can still hear me, so I'm not worried. She gets that quick cup of coffee last year in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
He's here this year, and there it is.
There it is. Well done.
There's the signed Maggio jersey.
Maggio.
Okay. So again, we knew that, or we kept saying, Paul and I saying, obviously it's going to be a 2-year thing for him before he would, maybe get up to the next level. He started out slow, but I know in the last, say, 15 games or so, his game is starting to appear. What can you? And again, you've gone there enough, and I know you've been to enough games and seen enough. How has that trajectory seemed to look for him? And do you think that maybe again, we're really prognosticating here, but maybe sometime next year he could be to that level where he could be ready to make a jump inevitably if an injury comes or something down the road?
So here's a big thing with Maggio. Maggio, obviously, he's been scoring much more this year. He's been much more in his game. A little bit, like defensively, I feel like his two-way can get a little bit better. But definitely when he's coming up ice, he is a force to be reckoned with. Another thing that has really fully helped his game is his hawk off. Him and Rusty have been a duo, which is why I created the hats, why I've been making the posters, because those two, why are they both producing so much? Because they are feeding off each other. These guys are a duo. And honestly, I would say up top, I mean, if you're going to bring one, you got to bring the other. They're the Barzell and Horvat, and you look at Rusty as Barzell. He's your puck possessor. He's the one to make the plays. And Maggio is your Horvat. He can score them. Rusty, the other game, he just found 2 men was on Rusty. He turned, found Maggio, threw a defenseman's stick, and Maggio put it away one-timer. And that's their dynamic. And there's sometimes even it goes the other way. It's more Ruslan to Maggio, but there are moments where Maggio finds Rusty and he puts it away. And they can find each other. They've been feeding off each other. Like that's a line that's been clicking, and I can compare it to Barzell and Horvat pairing. These are two guys that are just clicking and feeding off one another. And I've been seeing him much like grow in that offensive position. Maybe defensively coming back wise. I mean, he's been a little strong, defensively. He's laid checks. He's been getting into the dirty areas. But when he comes up with Ruslan, I get very, very excited. Very excited because those two can find each other through anything. And it clicks. And yeah, other names, people are talking about Jeffries, that new kid. He's been doing pretty well on his own. Yeah.
Yep. Paul loves him.
Yeah, no, he did a great goal, went through 2 defensemen and scored the other game. Dufour has been putting it on. You can tell he wants it. Every time he puts a shot on the net, if he misses wide, you see him go like, he's going at it. He's been scoring a lot lately, honestly. Dufour has been a presence, another one for me. And I've been just really happy with, like, I would say, like, those players have stood out to me. It would be Dufour, Jeffries, and Maj and Rusty. And
do you think, just continuing on that, I mean, people will look at the record. Do you think it's just the fact that this year, among others, because the lack of a lot of, say, veteran leadership that's been on Bridgeport in the past is the reason why they've been struggling? I mean, I know the last few weeks they've been playing great. Is it just basically the maturation process of these guys working together has made them better in the stretch run?
maturation. It's some they got veteran presences on there. I mean, Helgeson is the captain. He's a definite veteran presence. You got Bardreau. You even have a little Gauthier on there. You don't forget Gauthier is still down there.
Right.
They've been sitting him. He gets in trouble. he does stuff that Chris Lamorello don't like. So, which one of them recently was giving a stick. Bridgeport has a strict no stick policy to fans. He gave one away and was sacked the next game. But things like that, Gauthier don't care. But I've seen him on the line with Maggio and Rusty. They've kept Maggio and Rusty together and been trying different players out with that line, seeing how, what they can produce. Jeffries was one of them. Fashing, when he was down there, played with them. Gauthier was one. They've been circulating people on that line to see what they can create. But, I think there might be roster slots next year, and I'd be curious to see, in training camp what they could do. I really am curious. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in training camp and just analyze it and see how they do against our New York Islanders, how they're playing it. But, these two guys, they have speed. That is something that we have been lacking, especially, bottom six, because they're going to start out bottom six. That's how it is. We've been lacking speed. These guys are going to bring it. And that's something I think we've been missing. A lot of Bridgeport is like, we talked about, we have like those four players. Goaltending's been an issue as of late too. Appleby was playing hurt. Skarek was sick, and he's not doing his best. And then Tikkanen was sent down, so that's another thing. And you know what, Tikkanen, he's got a great glove, but he got a terrible 5-hole. he can't move that fast, and a lot of goals easily go through his 5-hole. So that was a big Tikkanen problem. I love Tiki, but yeah, that was a big problem with him. Skarek, I haven't been able to see too much to make my own thoughts. Appleby, when he was healthy, he was very dominant. When I went where the Bridgeport Islanders won in OT, it was a 0-0 game, and it was because of Appleby. My God, guy played standing on his head just like Varlamov did for the New York Islanders yesterday. But yeah, the last game we were playing at, he was hurt. And he still got he got that team to shootout. But yeah, he couldn't move well in the shootout, you know what I mean, to help the team. But I got to give it to them as of late. That game, they came down back from 4-0 because Appleby really couldn't move, and they were, banking on that. They were banking on the fact that Appleby couldn't be himself. And by the way, happy birthday, Ken Appleby. It's his birthday.
Yes.
But
Kimmy, let me ask you
he came
real
back
quick.
from 4-0, and it was
Let me
absolutely
ask you real
Jeffries,
quick.
Maggio.
At the beginning of the season, with a better 200 game, and he has been working on that. He's already said that. With Maggio, I have put him in a mold of a better rounded Julian Gauthier. He's got some speed. He will have a better shot by next year. But if he really works on that 200 game, he could really fill out that third line role that Gauthier was supposed to do this year. Give me your thoughts. What is there another Islander player for the fans here who they could have a better idea of what Maggio could be?
That's an interesting take on it. I'm trying to think, because definitely I'm trying to think of that third line. Who's on that third line? That's like Holmstrom, Pajot, Engvall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right now, for today.
For now.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think because I don't know what lines are what anymore.
Boy.
But yeah, I'm trying to think because he has the shot of Horvath.
Yes.
I will say that when he's on, he's on. He can bury that boy. I'd say he's slow, maybe a bit slower, but speed of Engvall, I'd say he's a bit slower.
Okay.
But definitely has more physicality than Pierre Engvall. I think anyone has more physicality than Pierre Engvall. I like
this.
to
Is
say,
he like a Brock Besser? Maybe a little taller would help, but he's got speed. He's
Yeah,
got the speed, and he doesn't have the hair as Besser does. Let's be honest now.
he's got good
Yeah.
hair. He's got. But that's interesting. I like the Besser take. He might be like a
Okay.
Besser. I like the
Okay.
Besser take.
Now there was
I want to see
another
how he
one.
matures, and it's that's the thing I said about Kyle McLean too, and I have it on tape. I'm like, you know what? He was so dominant, like a Casey Cizikas in the AHL. Will it translate to NHL? And it absolutely has. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud and happy about that it has.
Yeah.
Samuel
You're gonna see
Bolduc
more
was
of that
another one I
coming
thought
in
would
too.
pan out, and he wasn't up. It didn't. He was a different player in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
He plays like a different player in Bridgeport. I will tell you that. So it's just hoping that they take the chance and they grow into an NHL role.
Are there any D-men from Bridgeport that can compete for a spot next year? No, not yet.
No.
But I will say this now. Keep your eye out for Aiden Fulp.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Fulp keeps a very simple game.
I met him.
Oh, go ahead.
He was one of the ones I met.
Okay. For me, Kimmy, he has a very simple game. He could be a right defenseman, Adam Pellick.
Yeah.
And he's a big
he was
boy.
one of the ones I liked on
Okay.
defense. Not much via defense, I would say. Not like there wasn't a defenseman where I was like, dang, But I you're like pointing out Fulp. Yeah, he was one of the better ones. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. For now,
And you got
that's
the kids in
only-
junior.
Yes, you got a couple of kids in junior, and I have watched them. We'll get to that on another show. But my hope is, and this is for all the Islander fans still watching, I know you want to get younger, you want to get faster.
Oh,
That process starts next season. Because I'll tell you this right now. We'll have fun with this. If Rusty does not go to the KHL, okay, first off, he would still be Islander property even if he did, because he's still a restricted free agent. So there's that. However, there's no reason why he can't be a 13th forward. And then having him playing games for now, getting himself acclimated to the NHL, because everything Kimmy said about Ashakov was correct. He does get pushed around quite a bit. You want to put him against the faster teams, the younger teams, your Anaheim Ducks, your Phoenix Coyotes, your Carolina Hurricanes, all your faster wingers, you can put him in there. If Enval really stinks it up, you can put Ashakov in there for Enval. If Anders Lee gets an injury, you can put Ashakov in there. This is where you're going to start seeing a transition from some of the older players to the new, and this is where you won't have to go through free agency. Some of these kids should be able to hold their own for a few games. Go ahead, Kim.
Sorry, because Mike reminded me. Definitely, Sam Asselin is another one I totally forgot about, but he's been another one on the radar as well. He's absolutely another one on the radar of just tenacity on the puck and putting them on the net. Mike just
and not
reminded me.
expected one.
I was like,
either.
I feel so bad. I forgot about Sam.
Right,
He's
and not,
sweetest guy
Kimmy,
ever.
a not expected one either.
No, he was not an expected one. And you know what? He's 25 years old. He is up there. But I mean, when did we bring up Devon Taves? Remember how old was Devon Taves when we brought him out? Like 25, 26?
24. Yeah.
Somewhere
Right.
around
He went
that trend.
the 4-year college route. Yeah. And it took him
you're going to
2 years
see
of
that trend
development in
more and more
Bridgeport
these
to come
days.
up.
Yeah. You're seeing more people take the college route. And you know what? I think he could be a little hidden gem.
Yeah. The Isles would have to sign him to a contract though. Because I believe he's just under Bridgeport's contract.
I think so.
Okay. I'll tell you why. Okay, I know a lot of you guys want to see Robin Salo over Sebastian Aho. I'll tell you why. Because Robin Salo has finally had a career year for Bridgeport. He didn't have that last year. He didn't have it the year before. Kimmy, correct me if I'm wrong. This is probably the most complete season out of Robin Salo. See, I love her. I love her. Okay. This is probably his most complete season. And the other problem that he has right now is Samuel Bolduc is that 7th defenseman, which brings us to that next question. Is Mike Riley going to come back? If Mike Riley comes back, Robin Salo may not have a spot.
I like Riley. I won't even.
Riley has to. To me, he has to come back.
I like Mike Riley.
As somebody said, no 7-year deal. You can get him. You can get him on the cheap.
Yeah. No,
Because right
absolutely.
now he's playing every game. He had a good shot in Boston, didn't work out, but yeah, he could be here every game. You could
I
get him for
I
like 1.5, and I think he'd be thrilled.
I think I agree with Gary completely. I really think you can get.
Checks in the
I'm
mail,
just
Kimmy.
scared about Lou.
Checks in the mail, Kimmy.
I said the same thing about Engvall, and then look what happened.
No, Salo's a left-handed defenseman. Now, in defense of Salo, could be a call-up. Yes, he could be a call-up. Okay, maybe for no more than 10 games, depending on where the games are and who they're playing. Yeah, I'd go along with that. But again, is he a long-term fix? I don't think so.
No.
No.
No. Yes, and I'm not saying Riley's not signing. Will you guys stop? Is it? He's having a career year. Okay, give the man some options. But no, I think again, loyalty. He's done his job. He fits the system. Patrick all wants him. Guess what? He's going to be an Islander. Relax, guys. I'm not saying he's going anywhere.
Thomas Boyle, if you're wondering what Florida waived Riley, it's really just like if you're looking at like the Wallstrom situation here, like did we just have a full packed house and they have the talent and it was meshing together and it was just that extra defenseman that they just found, why are we paying him, to have him on our roster when there's no space for him here?
And they're
So-
younger 5'6" made
Exactly.
a lot more improvement, which made him expendable.
it was kind of just like, sorry, Riley, but
Numbers.
you're a great defenseman, but we don't have a spot for you.
When the year before Riley was a number 7 on Boston, he wasn't getting playing time because of the team that was in front of him, the 6
And
in
now
front of
look
him.
at him, he's killing it.
He is killing it. He's
Love
seizing
Riley.
the opportunity.
And that was a lot of on the Isles radar. Everyone was like, Riley, because we saw him on waivers. I remember getting so excited. I texted my brother. I was like, bro. He's like, do you think? And he's like, no, Lou's not going to do it. And then we were like, oh.
Bortuzzo, this is it. This is his contract. He's he's an unrestricted.
And he fit the bill. I don't think he's going to come back, but he fit the bill. He stepped in for Mayfield, with that physical presence. Of course he got hurt too, but he's got a role and he fits the role.
That's it.
I think
Yeah,
Mayfield was playing hurt for so long. And and I'll tell you, I remember we were looking at him at warmups, and we went, "Are those skate are those skate protectors? Like the guards, they had skate guards." And we were like, "Are those skate guards?" And he had skate guards on for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, because he went out lower body.
Right.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of answered the question already. Is there another Bridgeport Islander we haven't really brought up yet, but you think we should keep our eye on for the future?
I guess we talked about Aslan, which was definitely. I'm just trying to keep. I'm gonna go to the roster really fast because I'm not as intelligent as the two in front of me. I need a little.
Oh, stop it!
He knows nothing of Bridgeport either. Mike, help us out. Mike still here?
Thanks a lot,
Mike.
Paul.
Mike
he throws me under the bus. Mike,
Jeffries. Yeah, Jeffries. Trust me, boys and girls. Give Jeffries a little more time.
Yeah, no, he needs.
I'm getting a little anxious myself, but give Jeffries a little more time. He'll be decent.
Travis Mitchell, Mike just said.
There we go. Travis Mitchell is, I believe,
I literally just scrolled over as Mike said it.
And I was going to ask Travis. I think he's been playing injured all season as well. There's been a lot of problems with that, but no, Travis Mitchell has also looked pretty good when he's healthy. So again, we're coming to a point with Bridgeport where starting next season, you can probably start calling these guys up and you may not have to go through the waiver wire. So for my younger Islander fans who want to get younger and faster, that process starts next season.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's going to continue for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Because that's how good this draft is going to be.
Yeah.
For the future. I got a couple of things in mind for if Lou does this, I will be giddy. No one else will care, but I will be giddy. And there's enough players coming in now over the next 4 years where everyone's going to get younger, they're going to get faster, They play more of today's game, and they're still going to be competitive, and they may surprise a few Islander fans along the way. Paul LeDoux, no. Paul LeDoux is an old man. He's a 6th-round pick out of L.A. from, oh, God, what's my memory? 2005, something like that. Yeah, he's been around for a while.
2005. He'd be 40 years old.
2015. Whatever.
Paul, you're calling everybody
He's out
old.
there.
Stop it.
They are old. LeDoux is old. He's like 31, 32
You're
in
old.
hockey age. I am old. Like, no, but I know that. Lou has not traded him away at the draft. Again, I've said this before.
We got Romano.
Yeah, the Islanders right now are in a position from a prospect standpoint. They don't have to trade this year's 1st-round pick.
No.
Okay. It's one of those situations where you probably are looking at a minimum top 6 forward. You already have your top 4 defensemen. It has to be a top 6 forward who can put 20, 25 goals in, minimum. That's the value this draft pick has this year. Lou doesn't have to trade that pick. So it has to be a home run. For example, 1st-round pick for, is it DeBrusque from Boston? Something like that. A top left winger or whatever. Grant Hutton.
Grant Hutton, he's been playing well.
Fill-in.
Mike
good
said
for
one
him.
I was gonna say, which was Chalowski. He has been one.
Thank
He's been
you.
doing well.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Mike
again.
said it before me. He was, he talked Mitchell, but I was gonna say Chalowski would be my other pick. Someone who stood out to me defensively. He will have moments where it's like, Chalowski, what the hell are you doing? But then there's moments where you're like, damn, Chalowski. He's definitely
And
offensive
that's been his
defenseman.
problem. Well, that's been his career problem. That's been it with Chalowski. That I do know. Okay,
But
you want to go 30 goals, not 20? Fair enough. Going up. Yeah. I can do that, Tony. Your 1st-round. Granted, if they make the playoffs, it's not going to be,
Mike, I have
your
not
top
liked Savigny.
15.
I have not liked
Yeah.
Savigny.
Right. But
I'm
I'll tell you this right
not
now, boys and girls.
trying to
Where the Islanders are from 12 to 18, 19, 20, there's no major difference. Okay. The Islanders are probably going to draft themselves a 17-year-old. Probably going to college. We've seen this rotation. Alex Jeffries, Nelson, Schultz, the other kid from Wisconsin, Finley. Okay. Trust me, you guys are going to like him. There's a couple of good right-handed defensemen in there that we need to draft. That's all going to get sustained. So we'll get into the draft a little later on. But trust me, guys, Lou has to be swept off his feet for that 1st-round pick. And I'll tell you right now, leading up into what I'm going to do for the draft and you guys, I'll tell you right now, I don't think he's leaving, but if Lou Lamoriello were to leave the Islanders, this next general manager, all he has to do is something that the Gary, help me out. Dallas general manager, Jim Nill.
Jim Nill.
Okay. All you have to do is draft your 1st-round picks, your 2nd-round picks, let them develop in Bridgeport. Let them go to college. Let them spend as many years in juniors as you want. But when they're ready to come up, that's when you bring them in. The Islanders are at the point right now where they don't have to spend for free agency. They can because with some of these draft picks that Dallas has done, they get these players for pennies on the dollar in the beginning. So you bring in those free agents. Lou is literally setting up this franchise for the next 5 years for the next general manager to just come in and draft every single year. It's actually impressive. And I've already talked to a couple of people in the NHL. Everyone's told me if Lou was 20 years younger and the Islanders let him go, there would be someone else hiring him in a heartbeat.
Next GM, Chris Lamoriello.
No, it won't be Chris. If Lou, no.
I hope the rumors are true, which they're long shot rumors.
Which
but
is what?
People are saying Johnny Boychuk.
Gary, I think I said that on the show once or twice.
You have said that.
He sits with him in that box.
It makes It makes
Mhm.
sense, and it's a quiet move. And if Boychuk's been learning everything Lou's been doing, I'm not against that.
I would be
No.
so
I'm not against that at all.
because we've seen him up with we're like, oh, Boychuk sitting with Lou, Boychuk sitting with Lou, and at this point it's been years. And
Yeah.
I'm one and
You know what?
people
You know
who
what,
brought it
Kimmy?
up to me,
Kimmy,
you know,
your Mima's doing that.
don't get me emotional here.
You had to get her emotional now, didn't you? Damn it. So
I literally
no,
have
I
I
Joe
love
don't.
her
Boychuk
grandmother too, so that's
sitting here,
why. I
okay?
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Real quick here, Chris. We're going to answer this question for the 100th time. And it's sometimes you guys are here, sometimes you're not. But I believe, Kimmy, I think you were at this meeting as well. So it's the three of us. We were at the Booster Club meeting, and Lou Lamoriello was there. It was one of the first times he ever showed up, and he literally said, as long as I am 100% healthy and ready to go, I will be the general manager of the New York Islanders. That's what he said to both Gary, myself, and I believe Kimmy was there.
Don't know.
If
I
not,
honestly don't
fair enough.
remember.
Fair enough. Okay. The only way in my eyes that I can see Chris Lamoriello taking over at this point is if there is something physically wrong with Lou and it's like an emergency. That's the only way at this point I can see Chris taking over. The way Lou has structured everything, okay, you don't need necessarily Chris to do it. You could bring in a scout who's been scouting literally for 20 years, bring him in. He could be the general manager of the Islanders. And as long as he drafts well.
Or the
But
former
again,
number
go ahead.
55. No, I'm
What's
just
that?
saying, or the former number 55 potentially.
Exactly. Exactly. And he's been with Lou now, what, 5 years? Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
learned everything.
That would I don't know. I think that would be so hype. He's a player. I think was he in the interview who talked about it, where he's like, I don't remember if it was like in the bubble where I don't know if
Yep.
it was Wojciech specifically, but I remember in an interview someone saying like we would like pretend and make mock trades and things like that of players we would want if we made a team and did he have interest in it even as a player, thinking about beyond, his career. I don't know if it was Boychuk specifically who said that, but I remember there was one player who said like, "Oh, we would, screw around like if we did this trade or this, and made this team, how would they do and things like that." But
Right.
I think it was Boychuk. I'm not 100% though.
I'll go along with that. Yeah, listen, Mark, you're one of the very few guys that likes what Lou is doing. Yes. And there's an answer to that. Because when Lou took over, the team was in a little bit of disarray. What was worse, believe it or not, were those 2 COVID seasons. Because before UBS Arena happened, the Islanders lost $100 million within that time span. Basically from 2017 up until the end of Nassau Coliseum. He had to trade those picks away to keep the team competitive. Okay, I'm telling you now, you open up UBS Arena the way we did, you're not making the money that the Islanders have been making the last 2 years with basically no prospects. We are worse than the Buffalo Sabres, bud. And this is someone who covers the draft. We are worse than the Buffalo Sabres, who have missed the playoffs now for 13 years. We would be worse. So, no. Is it Stanley Cup or bust for me? No. But I don't want to be Chicago. I don't want to be Anaheim. I don't want to be San Jose. I definitely don't want to be San Jose.
We've been
And
there
in all
already.
honesty, yeah, we've been there already. And if Lou didn't do what he did, we're in trouble. We're in deep trouble. Like, we're not even forget playoffs. We would be the laughing stock again.
If it wasn't UBS, he'd be Kansas City trouble.
Oh God, no, don't even say
Kansas
that.
City
It
or
still
Quebec.
gives me anxiety.
I can confirm Quebec for you. I can definitely confirm Quebec.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, guys, be very. I know some of you fans. We love Lou. We thank him for his time, but he's got to go. Part of me understands that, but there's another part of me that would really like to see Lou finish what he started here, which was a giant mess And no, I don't think he's going to be around much longer because if he wants to go, he can go. I'm all for bringing Johnny Boychuk in. That's fine. But let Lou finish what he has to do yet, because I'll tell you right now, I'm loving this draft. It's going to take a while,
What would you
but
say
I'm
would
loving this draft.
be him dotting his I's and crossing his T's?
This draft, and I would say this coming season and then the following season. But I think during that following season, the 25-26 season, I think you would probably see Johnny Boychuk a little more visible. I think you'd start to see a transition from Lou to Johnny, and we're just having fun here that it is Johnny Boychuk. I think you would visibly start to see Johnny Boychuk become a little more active, and I think at some point at the end of that season with the collective bargaining agreement, I think then you would see Johnny Boychuk as the GM. I think Lou is here until that collective bargaining agreement is taken care of, because not only does he take care of the NHL, he takes care of the players too.
I thought it just
So-
popped in my head. At this
Go ahead.
last year's draft, because I know you know. Wasn't Johnny Boychuk at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there the last couple of years. Yeah,
I like
he's
this
learning
I
everything.
really like this rumor.
Yeah. Yeah, Gary, do you ever talk? No, we try not to.
We
We
tell
try
him
not to let him talk. No.
I was hoping that
No.
was going to go by.
No, never. No. Neil Smith as GM? No. Why? Because I love these prospects. I really do. I enjoy these prospects. I like where we are. I don't want Neil Smith trading away everybody. And I don't want Neil Smith trying to get Dennis Potvin back to win the 94 Cup. No, I don't want insane ideas like that ever again. You know
What?
that's true, right, Kimmy? Yeah.
No?
They tried to get Dennis Potvin back for the 94 season. The Rangers did.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I see again. I'm gonna say I think Lou's going to be at the draft table for this season, next season, and maybe that last season, but I don't know how involved he's going to be. He'll have his
No, I
words,
think
he'll have his say.
Paul, I think you're
Yeah.
reading it the wrong way. I think they're talking about the physical tables at the draft.
Oh yeah. No, we're going to the NBA style after this year. That sucks.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's going to be no tables.
Yeah, Keenan wanted Potvin, but yeah, Smith was going after him. He
I don't
actually
like that
did.
They took away the table.
Yeah. Not putting Wah upstairs when the time comes is a mistake. All right, let's okay.
Oh
Kimmy,
yeah,
give
the
me your thoughts on
Waz
Patrick
GM
Waugh.
Here
rumors.
we
Yeah.
go.
I
Tell them, boys and girls.
no. I listen. I trust Wah when he literally said, "I don't want anything to do with it." He literally just came out and said, "I don't want anything to do with. I just want to be a coach. I want to."
Wasn't that like day 2, Kimmy? That was like
Yeah.
day 2.
I fully think that I don't know why so many people are like throwing. Yeah, Wah is he was a fantastic player. He had his time on the Avalanche. That was interesante, but in the end, I think he is. It's been very evident he has developed as a coach and as a person. I think he's much more poised. I actually really like that about him. People are like, "Oh, he's gonna go nuts. He's gonna go John Tortorella." Nah. And you know what? I think he has the passion, but it's poised passion. It's not. I'm gonna look at your cell phone. Let me see your pictures. But
True.
it's a poised passion. Even like how he handled the Laviolette situation last night, I thought
Right.
was very classy.
Right.
Like things like that. But it's not so when he says and came out saying, I don't want anything to do going upstairs. Lou will be Lou. Let him do his thing. And I trust in that. He just wants to be a coach. Like, I don't know why people want to push him towards something he doesn't even want.
Right. Gary, I am going to bring this back to you real quick. You and
Oh,
I have
you allow
always
me
had.
to talk. Thank you.
Yes, we're going to have a little affinity now for Montreal, and we're going to have a little affinity now for Canada. If Patrick Waugh takes the Islanders anywhere near the Stanley Cup Conference Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, and God help us, the Stanley Cup. Okay. I can't see Canada, and I'm talking all 6 teams, opening up their wallets for Patrick Waugh. Because, yes, you've done something magnificent and a blessing winning a cup for Long Island. Now you're going to go become a GM for the Islanders, or are you going to try a win for Canada? Forget Montreal. Forget Ottawa. Forget Calgary. You're trying to win a cup for Canada, who hasn't done it since he did it in 93. What do you think he would do?
Well, if you, first of all, I'm going to preface this. If you remember in October, who did I say was going to win the cup? Do you remember?
Edmonton.
Exactly. I still think that today.
Okay.
I still think Chris Knobloch, of all people, former Hartford Wolfpack coach Chris Knobloch, is going to lead the Edmonton Oilers. I have something, that little sense in the back of my neck that's telling me that even though, despite the horrible start that Jay Woodcroft had at the beginning of the season, and Chris came in and has done wonders with these guys, and he's getting unbelievable efforts out of the third and fourth line, I'm still saying that I think Edmonton would win a cup before anybody else.
Okay.
And Chris Knobloch's going to be.
But we're only talking 2 or 3 years now. So.
I get it. No,
right.
But yes, going back to your Waugh conversation,
right?
If he pulled it off, what Quebec kid growing up a Quebecois in their right mind would not want that opportunity to run the show in Montreal? Of course, that would be. You would throw yes. Marty St. Louis has done a decent job with what he has.
Correct.
They are in a similar situation. They've got a great pipeline in Montreal. And it's not all in Laval, it's around, but they've got a good pipeline that's coming. They're going to be a team that's going to be scary in the future. When Caulfield and Suzuki and all these young kids start to really get their game going, they're going to be scary. And if the unbelievable would happen, that the Cross Island Parkway is going to have a cup present, a cup travel on the Parkway. If that would go, stop laughing, Claire. If that would happen, yeah, I think the Molson family would throw, the gross domestic product of Quebec to Patrick Waugh to go there and win it for him. But as I said, I still think Edmonton's going to win it first.
Okay.
And thanks for letting me speak for a minute and a half.
James, I love you. Don't piss me off with Tommy Salo. That's a whole other argument. Don't do that. You know that he knows how to hit my buttons on that one. Don't do that, James. Don't do that. Edmonton did not have a team in front of Tommy Salo either. Neither did the Islanders. Don't get me started on that. We're almost done here. You can never go to. No, you know what, Jim? I may give you credit on this one. I don't think Waugh would go to Toronto, but you know what?
No.
He might go to Ottawa.
He would destroy his legacy on the Habs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Burns did well in Montreal. He did well in New Jersey. He did not do well in Toronto.
Right. So, all right, Kimmy, we're going to close it up here. What do you want to see the final 4 games of the season? What do you want to see out of this team? Who do you want to play? Let's go with the scenario here.
Oh, God. So, I want to see 4 wins. That's for damn sure. Make it a 9-win streak. Hell yeah. Let's finish it out 9 strong. But man, what I want to see going out of these last 4 is not what we've been seeing recently against Nashville. That goes with Nashville. That goes against the Rangers. I want to see dominant wins. I want to see wins where we play at least a 40. Give me at least a 40-minute game. Give me a team. I want to see a transitioning back and forth, that neutral zone that we were talking about. I want to see, a game that's equal, not a PK for 40 minutes. Just because we popped off in the first period. I don't want 40 minutes of torture. I want to see a game that is equal, that we have a dominance in, and that we can show that we can have puck possession in the O zone. We are getting hemmed too often, and it's making me nuts. While I was talking about too much time, we're getting hemmed in the zone. We gotta stop. We get off our game and we don't know how to get back on the horse. You fall off the horse, you have to get back on, and that's something the Islanders have been lacking. Maybe I've seen Wad do it, but take that. We have commercial breaks. Use them as timeouts. You see your team's not getting back together. Use those timeouts. Get it together and say, guys, we need to wake up here. We're getting hemmed in our zone. We need to wake up in the neutral zone, and we need to go forward and set up. We need to take shots at net. We need to reawaken here. Use those as timeouts, because God, honestly, in that third period, there was a moment where I was like, screw it, use the timeout. I know there's probably, but I was like, use a timeout right now because we are playing like garbage, and it's been bad. I want to see them actually play with a forecheck, with a transition game, and it being even in well fought game. And I want to see dominant wins. I want to, instead of one goal games, instead of a 3-2, instead of it 1-0, I want to see a 5-1 victory. I want to see something where we put up the goals and we keep their goals down. I want to see them thrive. And that's what I want going in. And these, especially ending it against Metropolitan Division, and especially Penguins, which is one that's trailing on the heels. That's going to be a big one. Yeah. That's the
I have
last
other
game
reasons
of the
to forget
season.
about
Imagine
Penguins.
if our season dangles on that Pittsburgh Penguins game. Oh, dear God. It's going to be like round one. It's going to be as if we're in round one. So that's what I want to just personally see, is just, I want to see dominance. I want to see that this team can play with a dominance over another team, because I've yet to see it.
Gary wants to fire Joe and bring on Kimmy. It's fine. I'm all for it. That's a future reference. We'll work on that. Gary, next couple of games, who do you want to see in the playoffs? Give me your thoughts.
Well, I know, you waxed poetic last week about, wanting to have the rivalry in the first round. It would be good for the league. It would be good for the New York metropolitan area.
Right.
Absolutely, I understand that. But, right now
Girlfriends
they're in
hating boyfriends.
Exactly. Good thing he's far away right now.
Oh, I gave it to him on text. We had fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. But you know what? You're in a position now that you're going to take on Carolina, and as my my young friend poetically said it earlier, it would be poetic justice to do a rematch. And I although I understand the fact of, the Rangers being 23rd or 24th on 5-on-5, you can take advantage of it. But just the fact of how we call the stupid penalties that our team lovely takes is going to be trouble. And it's going to be just as much in trouble if they do it against Carolina as they do it against us. But as we've said, I think we've played better against Carolina than we have in the past. And I think that different coaching, different philosophy, I think would work. Even though I know Patrick's played Carolina once and we didn't do well, I think the way these guys are playing now, I think they're better capable of handling Carolina right now. And again, I think we would be better in a 7-game series if we come out. And again, I've been saying it all night, establish the tone.
Yep.
When we do that, and Butchie says it all the time. Look at the first 5 minutes of the game. We come out with a purpose. They're going to be fine. And that's, yes, what I would love 4-0 to end the year with the 9-game streak. Kimmy had a big smile on her face when she said that.
That makes me so happy.
Right now, all I want right now is effort. And these guys, and again, they're professionals. They know it. They totally know what's in store and what they need to do. So if anybody comes out in the next week, if things don't work out the way and they say they didn't know what was going on, no, then you're not a fan. You don't know the sport. You don't know the professional hockey player. You don't know what these guys are thinking and stuff. Yes, we need to set the tone. As Charles just said, gap control. I say it until I'm going to fall dead in my grave. They've got to establish themselves and establish the right way to play. Get back to Islander hockey, and come the 20th, Kimmy and I are going to have to buy playoff tickets.
Yeah.
And maybe Paul Kreischer might actually get some cojones and show up in Elmont.
I was waiting for that.
Yes.
I deserve that. I deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know financial times are tough, but you can grab the cojones and show up.
Okay. All right.
And I'm glad you didn't mute me on that.
I know. Listen, this is part of the theme right here. This is what David said. Yeah, we're not getting out of the first round. It would be a total shocker. Yes. Yes. I want 1975. Gary, help me out here. I want 1975. I want 1993. I want 1993. I would love to have these younger fans experience 1990, a year like 1993 all over again. It's almost
they did in 2021, but
yeah,
it was different. But now you've got a full boat in the building.
Right. I love this. Listen, even the 2002 series, we weren't supposed to go 7 games with Toronto.
Nope.
It's one of the most memorable series that the Islanders never won. And we bring it up all the time.
Yeah.
This Islander team is completely crazy and unpredictable. And at this point, it's working. I love it. Do it. Everything Kimmy said was correct. Everything Gary has said was correct. We would like to see some stability. We would.
Keyword is
want to see a little dominant. Yeah.
Stop being consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I want to see that consistency. But again, for me, honestly, yes, would I love the Rangers? Absolutely. Okay. And I love Kimmy's outtake on it. It's a rematch with Carolina. I'm all for it. As far as I'm concerned, this particular series, they say anything can happen in the playoffs. The Islanders are crazy enough to make this completely unpredictable.
Did it in 21? We weren't supposed to be there in 21. Personally, no one expected us to make the ECF. Like, come on.
Glare from the clouds.
Yeah.
I didn't expect us to reach the ECF when we made it.
Yeah.
That's why it's just make it. It's just the word make it. That's the big thing because, and I said that on my pod too, and you're absolutely freaking right, Bull. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Cinderella runs happened. Florida a few years ago was this freaking cup Cinderella run. They weren't supposed to be there, and they were. And that's the fun of playoffs is that it is a clean slate when you go into those first rounds. Nothing matters except win the games.
The 2013 playoffs, our first round matchup with Pittsburgh. Like it's all there. Folks, why not? Why not us? 3-headed monster, only it's not the goalies this time. The Islanders are nuts. They're crazy. But they're going to get in. Yeah. They're crazy enough to do it. What do we do? 6-game winning streak, 4-game losing streak, 5-game winning streak. How the hell are we going to predict the playoff series? Seriously. How are we going to predict the playoff series at this point? We can't. We sit back, we watch, and if we win, it's going to go down as one of those memorable seasons that no one will ever figure out. I did have a question. Who else was going to make the playoffs? I'm still going to be stubborn and say the Wings. I don't know
Really?
if the Caps have enough. Yeah, only because I had the Wings at the beginning of the season. I didn't have the Pens.
I didn't
And
have the
that's
Penguins.
just I didn't have the
No, I didn't have the
Penguins.
Caps either. Right.
I didn't have the
I
Caps
didn't
or
have the
Penguins.
Caps.
So
Yeah, no, I had them both missing. I did have the Wings making it, so I'm sticking to my guns on that one. That's completely selfish on me, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing the Penguins disrupt the Rangers' chances at all. They brought up younger players who are just riding that wave of emotion, and it's hooked onto Malkin, it's hooked onto Crosby. It's working. If they get any kind of stable goaltending during the playoffs, forget it.
oh god, it's Penguins Red Wings tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean,
Just
it's
root
been
for a
playoff
regulation
hockey.
game. All you root
Right.
for is a regulation game. Don't
I'd
let
rather Red
both
Wings
teams get a
win,
point.
and we'd rather Red Wings win, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. But you still hope for a regulation game. Because
Let's go Sabres too.
you don't want the other team getting a point.
Yeah.
So I agree with everyone here. Playoffs should be, I'm not going to say a lock, but it should be step one of a goal. After that, I agree completely here. Grab the popcorn, grab your favorite drink. Kids, grab your chocolate milk, stay up all night. And I've said this before until we're blue in the face. The Islanders have not lost in regulation. They don't do it. That's the purpose of that loser point. The NHL does not care about that loser point. They want to know who is not going to lose in regulation. Why? Because now you have a better chance of going overtime in game 4, overtime in game 3, overtime in game 6. You're drawing in more viewers. So, yes, the Islanders may lead the league in overtime losses, but guess what? What are the chances of the Islanders going to overtime with Carolina in this series? Especially with their
Damn good.
history. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, because we gave up the lead.
Oh, she did it.
Wah,
Damn
wah,
it. She
wah.
did it. Oh, and on that
Come on, you
positive
know
note,
it's gotta be it's gotta be something
Yeah.
like
You
that.
cue the music. Yeah, exactly. All right.
The
So,
womp womp.
Kimmy, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
Where can
you.
they find you?
At that. Twitter, Twitter and YouTube. This right here. Just search that up. You'll find me real fast. I got weird lipstick. Easy to find. But yeah, no, I tweet all the time. I do podcasting too, especially New York Islanders breakdown, just like Paul here. Maybe not as good, but I try my best. So
She's good.
She's got 10
Gary, when
times
you-
more followers than both of us combined, so she shouldn't
Yeah,
talk.
she does. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's much prettier on the eyes than we are anyway, but
Oh,
she also
damn
knows her
sure.
shit. She knows her shit. The only thing, look, we got to put it out there. She's marrying a Rangers fan. Like, honestly, that's the only issue we have with her. Honestly, Gary, I don't know where you went wrong with her on that one. I don't know, but
Well, he was a
granted,
Rangers
you're a
fan.
converted Ranger fan. There is partial blaming you on this one as well. Like, damn, Gary. Anyway, we don't like to let you talk.
Well,
but
you
we're-
know what? You know what?
Uh-oh, here we
Her
go.
mother has the proof.
Oh.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Grab the high
She
school
showed me the yearbook.
because
She's-
again, Kimmy's mother and I went to kindergarten together, and I was my first girlfriend at age 4. Okay, so
And then she dumped you
she's
for
got
Bobby
the-
Nystrom.
Yeah,
Facts.
exactly. Oh God, when he came to our high school one year, forget about it. Kimmy's mother was like drooling like you wouldn't believe. But
Oh,
anyhow,
she's not here. She's not here now.
but anyhow,
All right, where can they find you on social media?
well, I've been starting actually to get back on a blogging kick because I've been running, I've been updating the Booster Club site, which I'm of course been involved with for 30 odd years. So I've been starting to blog again. So nybooster.blog is where I'm actually starting to write a few things, just a couple of opinions here or there. I'm trying to get more people in our club to do it. And, we're trying to zero in on some young blonde haired girl, maybe to help us out with social media next year.
Called out again. Wow.
Right, Claire? See, president already wants you, so you're in
Bring the
trouble.
president in.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But anyway, I will take forever for as long as I'm living, I am going to take credit for everything that Kimmy does because I started her. And she can't forget that.
I still have I think it was with you, Paul. I still have I have pictures with you, Gary, doing the radio show when I was like, what, 18, 17, 18?
Yep.
Something
And
like
then
that.
Paul, I have a picture with you outside Nassau Coliseum with the headphones on.
Yeah, that was actually a bright spot for me. That was a Robin Leonard. That was just when John Tavares left.
Yep.
Yeah, those were
Yeah.
that was a fun. Yeah, I don't know if the Islanders continue to hold that draft moving forward. Maybe we do a little draft party. Maybe
Here
we
it
do it
is.
all over again because that was a lot of fun. Oh my God, that was cool. Yeah, no, I still have those gaming those. Yeah, I still have that gaming stuff. I do. So
Got a
yeah,
chair
maybe
knocked
we'll
over
do
in
a
the
draft
back.
party. We'll go from there. Yeah, that was awesome.
I have
All
a
right,
picture with Dobby when he was still in Bridgeport as the next photo.
nice.
In Bridgeport. Oh my God. Baby Dobson.
That's a baby Dobson.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't there that long.
That was Bridgeport signing.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right, for those of you who even care about following me, which I know you don't, P_Kreischer on X. Please, ladies and gentlemen, follow Isles Talk on X at Isles Talk. Follow us on Facebook, and please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We'll be doing some summer shorts on there, kind of recapping the season and whatnot, and the numbers have been going up. We thank you very much for that.
Yes.
Next week, we will not be doing a show because of the aforementioned Pittsburgh Penguins New York Islanders game, which is the final game of the season. So I'm going to leave you guys alone for 2 weeks. God help you all. I may have my own problems with a certain Pittsburgh Penguins fan, but that's besides the point. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck for the rest of the regular season. We will be back. Schedule pending. We don't know when the playoffs are going to start. We don't know where the Islanders are going to be playing, home, away schedule or whatnot. So we're going to plan those days accordingly.
Yeah, we could do a viewing party thing, or
we could do a
kind
viewing
of like
party.
what Kimmy does.
Yeah, no, we can do that. We can do the virtual.
With a live stream of the games, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine by me.
Just watch me
during the week
die inside. It's fun.
Yeah.
We'll do it. So
Yeah, and
all right.
especially when her mother starts screaming. Oh my God.
My mom in the background is amazing.
That is good. So, all right, boys and girls, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the season. Let's go Islanders, and we'll see you soon. Playoffs.